I'm TQ, and thanks for coming to Talk with TQ. There's another episode. I can't believe I do this. This is the best job in the world right here. Today, I'm interviewing two gentlemen that are proprietors of a store in which people that are musicians can really appreciate. The name of the store is Division Street Guitars, and as you might imagine, they sell guitars, and they also repair guitars, and I know that they do other things as well. So welcome, Matt. Welcome, Paul.
How's it going?
It's going well.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for engaging in this with me. I appreciate it.
Definitely.
Yes, I've been stalking you guys for a while now.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Right?
Glad we finally set it up. Yeah.
Yeah, finally, yes. And we did pick a perfect night. We picked a perfect night to do this. Tell me something about how this store came about.
Well, I've been working in the music business with, especially with guitar specifically, for almost 20 years now. Mm-hmm. Started working at a local music store when I was a kid in Austin, and kind of just stuck with it and just kept it going. I worked at a few other guitar stores, and my main focus has always been repair work on guitars.
Okay.
And after I moved out of the city, came back here, I decided just to take a shot and open up my own place, and here we are.
So it was sort of an impulse, and how did you get involved with this, Matt?
Well, Paul's known me since I was like a thought.
Okay.
He grew up with my older brothers, and we've always like stayed connected. And
oh, hey, so you go way back.
yeah, and like I was always a huge fan of his band. We were always like connected that way. And then he was like, "Hey, I need somebody to help me move a counter."
Okay, that's always
and then that was
it. Just turned into
and that was it.
Yes, and it turned into something more. Are you both musicians?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, that seems appropriate. And so, tell me about the kind of clientele that come into the shop.
It ranges from like beginners, kids just starting out, to very high level, professional musicians.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
It's kind of all across the board. We try to keep stuff in the store a little bit for something for everybody.
I know that when you opened here on Division Street, I remember this, the people were like very excited as they started seeing things kind of appear in the window. And I'm thinking, is this going to be a guitar shop? Sure enough, it is. I don't know if I did live in a town with a guitar shop, but not in the Hudson Valley. So you might be the only game in town, it seems.
Yeah, there's a few other stores, somewhat close by, but nothing quite like our place. Our place is a little bit different than the rest of them.
There's a very cozy feel in here. Mm-hmm. You have a couch, which is kind of interesting. And I've noticed that you have, sometimes occasionally you'll have an event or some kind of like a mini concert. Tell me about the concert thing that goes on here once in a while.
Sure. Every once in a while, we'll have a show that we try to host something that may not fit in other places, like the coffee shops around town or anything else. Usually we'll go with like louder, heavier stuff. We're kind of like the island of misfit toys in that sense. Like usually like punk and heavier stuff. And we just try to do something fun every once in a while.
It definitely adds flavor to the neighborhood. I can say that personally. When you walk up and down the street and there's something going on in here and it's musical, it definitely adds flavor, especially if it's like a little later in the night, even if it's in the daytime.
Right.
Although, as we know, in this neighborhood, there are a lot of musical events, but yours does have a different feel to it. Yeah. So you decided to do it here. Is there any reason why you chose Peekskill?
It just seemed like a good spot. There's a lot going on. It's in like the art world and music world and restaurants, and just the whole town itself just seemed to be kind of, the timing just lined up right.
Right.
And I felt like there was a void, something missing. So
Yes, it was a guitar shop.
Yeah.
But interestingly, you actually did like a hosting of a visual artists and poets converged here, and I understand you're going to be doing this again, and you generously opened up a spot on your stage over here, which is kind of like your mock stage. Well, it's not a mock stage, it's a makeshift stage, and people actually came in and painted and recited poetry, each other's poetry, which was interesting. How was that for you? Do you find that you got more clientele through that, like a different market, right?
It was cool. I don't know if we got more clientele, but it was really more just to support the artistic community here.
Yes.
So.
And we all appreciate that.
Yeah.
There tends to be some kind of like a hybriding that goes on. Do you find that when you're really dealing with probably more performing artists, and then but the visual artists, you know,
definitely art and music.
Yeah,
like hand in hand all the time.
They go together,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It is interesting, isn't it?
I think so.
I think that if I remember, because I was here for that, and I was really impressed. It seems that I could imagine someone actually painting a portrait of a musician, you know, in this space. There's something about this space. You do have some art on the walls as well, and you know, we'll see if we can get some more up there, because many of the artists here do musician portraits, and I imagine you appreciate that very, very much.
Of course.
Yeah. So the people that come in here, do they tend to lean towards a certain genre of music that they play?
Not really. Again, it's all over the place. You know,
Yeah.
it's all different players, all different styles, ages, everything. Yeah.
Yeah, before when we were setting up, there was a gentleman sitting here playing an amazing guitar,
Yep.
you know, and it just like very casually, I'm like, wow, you know, I wonder if we recorded that. He was very good. I don't know who he was, but he came, he communed, and he left, you know. And I'm saying, come back, I want to hear some more.
Yeah, he's a good player, that kid.
So tell me about the guitars here. You have electric guitars. I know what that is. I'm not a guitarist. I do know it's a string instrument, even though I play a string instrument, but it's not this one. And you have acoustic guitars and different sizes. And you had mentioned to me earlier that a lot of them were vintage, you know, sort of antique. And I had actually kind of gravitated to a ukulele, not a ukulele, oh, wait a minute. I said what it was. I forgot.
Mandolin.
Mandolin,
Yeah.
mandolin, right. I said it then. I didn't have to think. The mandolin, it was, you said it was a vintage mandolin. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful
Yeah,
piece.
it's real cool.
So how did you acquire these? How do you acquire these things? Because some are brand new, some are older.
I travel around to a lot of different like trade shows, vintage guitar shows.
Yes.
You know, where it's like you go and set up for the weekend, you bring guitars and you buy and sell and trade amongst other dealers. And people also bring guitars in to sell there. That's one of the ways we get them. People also just bring them into the store. We buy guitars, you know, on the site here too, and people
nice.
want to bring them by. We do trades with people.
Sometimes we'll find stuff in the trash and
In the trash.
yeah. I mean, like you can see when there's like a gem just kind of like rotting
And they
away,
didn't know
and then Paul will bring it back to life. And
Really, how do you do that? How do you go about bringing it back to life?
Different ways for different guitars, but you know, pretty much all guitars you can restore them and bring them back. You know,
Also
even if they
restoration.
seem trashed to, you know, the normal person's eye, you can look past that and
Yeah.
fix them and restore them and bring them back.
That's really something. You ever think about, well, this is a different instrument. Think about pianos. People are like percussion and string, you know, but that's a whole different animal, correct?
Pretty much. We pretty
Yeah.
much just deal with strings. You know, we
Yeah.
have acoustic guitars, electric guitars, mandolins, banjos, then we have amplifiers. We also have a lot of effects pedals. We like those a lot. Those
Yeah.
are fun.
Yeah.
And then we have accessories and everything that, you know, all musicians kind of need. Just
Right.
so.
The things that like a
Strings and
layperson
cables
like
and
myself
picks
wouldn't
and
even think of
everything.
that.
Yeah.
There's so much that goes into it. And I'm wondering, are you planning any more like events? Has anyone approached you again to use the space? I love this space.
Yeah, we get approached all the time.
Yeah.
almost
Yeah.
daily. Almost daily.
There's a good vibe in here.
Yeah.
You
For
know,
sure. Yeah.
very good vibe in here. And I've done some shows in some places, including my own studio, which has an excellent vibe. But sometimes when we do our shows off site, it's really because, you know, I walk in and I say, it'd be really good to do an interview in here.
Right, yeah.
Because this place just has a good vibe. And you always have some kind of music going.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I imagine there are people that come in that are, I don't know, I've seen some people, I like to call them savants. You know, they just know about this particular genre of something, you know. Is
Yeah.
there a favorite musician? I'm surprised of the, I see the Beatles up here. I made comment about you should try to get Paul McCartney to come in and do an interview here with you guys. I'll interview him and you guys can come. How's
be
that?
cool.
No, really, we should try to get him in here because he still plays and he's still very good. You know, and
Yeah,
there
he's
was
still active.
yeah. I mean, the Beatles, come on. Right?
They're okay.
They're all right.
They're
You know, they
okay.
can write a little bit. They got
Yeah.
some songs, you know. But I was surprised there was a gentleman in here of a different generation than my own. And when I mentioned Paul McCartney, he kind of poo-pooed it, and I said, you know, if it wasn't Paul McCartney, there might not be you guys, perhaps. I mean, that's the way I think.
Oh yeah, arguably.
Yeah, arguably, yes, definitely. You know, maybe he'll see the show. I'll send him a link to the show when we're done.
Yeah, get him on it.
I'll say, you want to come here, you know, and you're right in the middle of Division Street. I know that the audience just heard a horn conch. It's a busy street, you know. So do you find that on certain days, like on the weekends, for instance, when the Division Street is all abuzz, people just like pop in and look around? Have you become a tourist spot yet?
Yeah, definitely. We get a lot of like, you know, foot traffic coming in.
Yeah.
People coming in and still not even knowing that we're here. We've been here for almost 4 years, and they'll walk by and be like, "Oh, I never knew you guys were here," or whatever.
Yeah.
So that still happens too from time to time. So
You keep a very modest, low profile. You do. You keep a very modest, low profile, even though everybody knows that you guys are like way cool, you know? So tell me about like the...
Dude, we're cool.
Yeah, you are. You knew
We
that.
did it. We did it.
You did it. You did it. It's true. I think that for me, I'm impressed with the instrument itself. Now, you take somebody like myself, I'm sure there are other people that come in here that are complete neophytes when it comes to actually playing. I won't call myself a neophyte because I do play a string instrument. Nobody knows that about me. Now you guys know.
Yeah.
But there are people that come in and they just like, I'll say wannabe guitarist. I always wanted to play an acoustic guitar. I always wanted to do that, you know?
What's stopping you?
Yeah. Well, a teacher and a guitar. You know? I need the two things, you know?
We could arrange both of those.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you actually kind of do a little bit of networking and
For sure.
yeah.
So teachers
we don't
come.
do lessons here, but we have people that we recommend, you know, through the store. So,
Oh,
yeah.
okay, that's good. So people come in and they give you their card, and you say, "Well, you got this chick. She's not young, but she's not old, and she really wants to learn to play an acoustic guitar because I imagine myself doing it. There are songs that you might hear, let's say on the radio or wherever, and then hear something being played on a guitar, and I'm like, I want to do that. You know, I want it because it's in my head, and that's the part I like of the song. You know, so you can get someone to teach you certain styles. So there are different styles. There's
Yeah.
classical guitar.
Yep.
I know one classical guitarist. I'm sure he's been in here, and he's pretty popular. He tends to be the serenade kind of guy. So tell me, are you versed in the history of guitars? Like, who is the first guitarist?
First guitarist, I mean, that's a tough question. I'm more versed in the building of guitars and like the, you know, how they all came about and the changes over the years, the constructions of them and everything.
Right. Okay.
I mean, it reaches back to what, medieval?
Yeah.
Yes.
With like the
Probably
lute.
to,
The
like,
lute is
lute.
like
the lute
probably
is like the
Yes.
first kind of guitar instrument out there,
right.
which I worked on a couple of those this year. I don't think I'll ever do that again.
Why not?
Well, it's just not my specialty, and it was just a lot of time.
There's a
you
lot
know.
of strings.
Oh,
Yeah.
a lot of strings.
Yeah.
So it's not like just these. There's more than this. That has a lot of them.
Yeah, they have at least 15 strings, and they can go up to like into the 20s. So
Wow.
Yeah.
I think about the Beatles and that signature chord that those four notes. You know, is it four strings? You know, I think the four notes that they played on the guitar before the song. I think "A Hard Day's Night." Is that it? Or maybe it's a Beatles thing, but. You know, me not playing the guitar, I can hear them in my head.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they were like the kings of the hook.
Oh.
You know, like they
Yes.
were amazing at like using four notes to just get caught in your head.
Right.
Like,
And it's
I mean,
there. It's like the soundtrack of your life.
oh yeah,
Right.
totally.
Yeah, I would say most definitely. So, do you guys have a favorite type of music?
We
the
both
guitar?
pretty much like heavy rock stuff, I guess you'd say. Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Open to anything.
I'm open to anything. Too.
You're open to anything, but you're metalheads.
Prefer the stuff that like kind of
metal, but
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe not metal. There's like a
I mean, we both like hip hop a lot too. You know, that's
Oh,
probably our
okay.
second favorite
Yeah,
thing.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So, and how about jazz guitar? Are there any jazz guitar enthusiasts that come in? I think of like people like Stanley Jordan,
yeah, we definitely get jazz players in too. We get all kinds of players.
George
in.
Benson.
George Benson's amazing.
He's really
Yeah.
good.
He's really good. Canigliaro.
Yep.
I don't know the name.
Brian Canigliaro. He's a local guy.
Peekskill local
Oh, he
guy.
is?
He's
Oh.
really good. Yeah.
Oh, okay. We
He
should
was-
have had him here.
Oh, he's amazing. He was talking to me the other day. and just like maintaining eye contact and had full conversation, and his hands were just
Moving.
Right. just-
going.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like
that
no
sounds-
note missed.
Does he
It's like,
teach?
it's insane. I think he does actually.
Really?
He does. Yeah.
Have to learn to pronounce his name first. Calignaro. Yes. So
Close
so-
enough for jazz.
Yes. Okay. Close enough. Okay. It is close enough for jazz. But I'm thinking in terms of like guitar. Like I'm thinking about the lute. Didn't Romeo play the guitar for Juliet? Or no? Is it Don Quixote?
I don't
Who's
know.
the first guitarist?
Like famous.
The first like literary guitarist.
Yeah. Who is it?
That's a good question.
Yeah, it's like a good one. It's hard.
I mean, that stuff was always popping up in
Mm-hmm.
Shakespeare
Yes.
and things like that.
I mean, it became most popular, I think, probably in like the 50s when like Gibson is a big name.
Yeah.
They kind of like invented like the electric guitar. Les Paul had a lot to do with
Les
like
Paul.
bringing that more into the mainstream, and Leo Fender.
Right.
So they had a big thing to do with making it more of like a pop culture kind of thing, which brought it, to everyone's eyes.
So you guys could teach like guitar culture. You could actually do that to actually know that stuff,
Yeah.
I'm
And
really
that's why we like the old stuff too, because the craftsmanship is far beyond anything that you can buy today.
handmade.
Yeah. Much better work, much better materials, everything.
What kind of materials are generally used for, let's say, an acoustic guitar?
I mean, the most commonly used woods would be like a spruce, like Sitka spruce top.
Oh, okay. So
And like rosewood back and sides.
okay.
Brazilian rosewood being the most sought after wood
Yeah.
for the back and sides, but it's now an endangered species of wood, so
What do
you
you think?
can't
Using other
use it
stuff.
anymore. So there's other rosewoods you can use,
Right.
but you're not allowed to use that anymore.
So then any guitar that actually exists now, the value of it would go up a lot because
If
of
it had the
environmental
original.
reasons.
Yeah, the
Absolutely.
older
That's nice to
the
know.
older woods go up a lot. What else?
Older woods.
Well, like the Brazilian and
Yeah.
old woods, like even like guitars from the 50s, like Gibson had a stockpile of wood from 50 to 100 years before that they were using. Like it's good to let them be fully dried out and everything before they're turned into guitars.
I'd like to really get into the head of the person that actually constructs this thing, because the shape of the actual guitar itself will determine its the shy one will determine its acoustics.
Yeah,
its
for sure.
its acoustical temperament, I'll say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, shape and
each
material.
guitar can be set up in different ways to make it easier for the player or for different sounds. And that's one thing that I think really separates us from the big box stores and even a lot of other guitar shops is that every guitar in here is basically hand-picked, first of all, as a good instrument.
Yeah.
And then we work on them before they go on the floor. So they're set up and ready to go.
Wow.
As opposed to if you go to like one of the big box stores, it's just that they take it out of the box, hang it on the wall, and then sell it. And you're going to have to bring it to a place like this to get set up anyway.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
so what's involved with setting it up?
There's like playability. So there's a thing called like action, the string height off the fretboard.
Okay.
So you want to set that right. That's probably the main thing, especially with beginners. If the strings are high, it's just going to be so frustrating for them
just
to
gonna
learn. They're
not
just going
wanna
to want to give
play
up
it, yeah.
because it's going to hurt their fingers. They're not going to be able to form the chords.
Okay.
So you want to get the strings nice and low. Then you want to set the intonation of the guitar so that it plays, the notes play evenly up the neck. It's not so it's.
E is E, is E, is E.
Yeah, right.
As you go up octaves,
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
stays the same.
So
Those are the two main things of setup work, but there's different ways that it can be done for each person.
okay. What would be a guitar that you pick out for someone like me that's a music enthusiast? I have musical intelligence is my highest of the intelligences, but I don't play the guitar. So what would you pick out for me? I see their sizes
Yep.
vary so much.
Yeah, I mean that's what we would start with something. You find something that fits you comfortably, like when you hold it, it feels comfortable to you,
Yeah.
so that you can get your arm around.
Right.
And then we would ask you, what style you're looking to play with it, and a budget.
Okay.
Then
Budget.
yeah.
Budget's important. This is like a fun place because it's just visually just extraordinary. And, I guess many people that are novices are inclined to choose a guitar based on aesthetic. like I like that color. You had a purple electric guitar there, and I said, that would be mine, maybe. But if you had a purple acoustic guitar, that would be mine.
We've had those.
Do people come in and buy based on the aesthetic more often than not? I bet.
Totally.
They do
Yeah?
sometimes, but even that has something to do with it, because if you like it, you're going to pick it up more and you're going to want to play it.
Right,
It's got to be
exactly.
something that you like. We don't try to sell guitars to people. We try to find the right guitars for
Find the
people.
right guitar for them.
Yeah.
And then I guess do the schools come in and purchase or consult with you? You know, because I mean, you know a lot of stuff. You guys are like, you know, guitar, you know, enthusiasts.
You could say nerds. It's okay.
I wasn't going to say nerds. I was going to use something else. I wasn't going to say nerds. I said, don't say that, because then the association will be like, I said that. You know, but I didn't mean it in a bad way. It's kind of like the Rain Man of guitars. I'll say it like that. You know?
We're not really involved with the schools. A few of the teachers at Peekskill High School come in, and and they recommend their students to come in here and stuff like that. But we don't really have a connection with the schools or anything.
There's a local musician that I interviewed a couple of years ago, and he's pretty popular. He plays a guitar, and he plays like a folk guitar, and it's Fred Gillen Jr.
yeah.
I do drop names in the show sometimes, you know.
Yep, we know
And
Fred
then-
well.
Yeah, Fred's great. What a great musician.
Yeah.
When we had our
Unbelievable.
opening party, he played at it. So
Yeah,
that was
he's
nice
the
of him, yeah.
best. And he plays acoustic guitar. Does he teach? I wonder, probably.
I don't know if he does. I don't
maybe
think
not.
he does, but
Yeah,
he
he-
records, though. He has a recording studio.
Yeah, he's very well, he's beloved, you know, but he's an amazing musician, and it just stands
yeah.
up, just does it.
Yeah.
He even plays the washboard. I'm shocked about that. You know, he plays the guitar in the washboard, but it'd be interesting to know like what guitar he would pick out for me. I see some that look like they'd be for a child. That little one there.
Yep, that little one it's actually a great little guitar. It could be for a child, or it could be for someone for traveling, or it could just be your couch guitar. It's made by Taylor.
Okay.
It's called the Baby Taylor.
Oh, the Baby Taylor.
Yeah, but it's not a toy by any means. It's a really good little
No,
guitar.
it doesn't look
Yeah.
like it. It looks like it'd be for like a tween,
Yeah.
you know, or maybe for some very, very little old lady or something.
There you go.
You know, little, you know, because it's so tiny. And then the big ones, they have the big sound. I can sort of discern which ones would have the kind of sound that I like. But the electric guitars, now that's a whole different category.
Yes.
That's where it gets weird.
Yeah? Tell me why it gets weird.
Well, I feel like there's less of like a kind of an idiom that like you have to adhere to.
Yeah.
With electric, there's less rules with electric
Oh.
guitar. So you'll see ones that are like that look like they could hurt you.
Yeah.
Or some that are, you know, just like kind of the classic looking guitar, and you could choose like you have different configurations of pickups and
Right.
parts and
And you can change all that stuff
Yeah.
around, customize it all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen
Yeah.
people switch back and forth from electric to acoustic.
for sure. Yeah.
What do people usually buy? What do you think? What do people like when they purchase one?
In this shop, electric is definitely more popular
Yeah?
than
Okay.
anything else. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an expensive endeavor, I imagine, to have a shop like this. But you're a collector. You're collectors. Yeah,
Pretty
that's why
much,
you're
yeah.
so relaxed. You know, because you're not adhering to the whole retail pressure.
Right.
Yeah, and people that come in here often are collectors.
Yeah,
You know, and then the
yeah.
wannabes like myself. I know that if someone would teach me, I'd be, you know, it's the same thing I said about, you know, playing baseball. If he'd teach me, I could hit that ball, you know, but I just can imagine, you know, it must be very rewarding to actually have all of these wonderful instruments in here, have people come in, they buy them, they come back, they're still smiling,
Yeah.
Yeah.
buy picks of different colors. But I'm not gonna sell it. I don't have to sell anything in here. I see you have your Division Street guitar T-shirts, which are really nice.
Yep.
And you have like a on the wall in terms of art. Who's the gentleman playing the keyboard? Is he a local?
No, that's Justin Bua is the artist, I believe.
Okay.
It's not. It's a print. It's a print.
It's a print. Oh, okay, I will tell. And then, of course, the coveted legendary Beatles.
Yep.
That's a wonderful piece. you know? And
Yeah, it's a cool one.
I'm trying to remember where else I've seen it except for here.
Yeah.
Is it an original?
It's an original. I don't
Wow.
know where it came from. It was kind of just like here when we got here.
Wow,
Yeah.
valuable.
Yeah.
Nice, a lot of airbrushing, but it's the young Beatles.
Yeah, it's cool. John Lennon kind of looks like Spock.
He does. And that's when that haircut was considered long hair.
Right.
Right.
Huh? Yeah, it was. That's a wonderful piece right there. I'm surprised you're not using it as your logo.
The logo was actually done by a local artist who's awesome too.
Yes?
We did like a barter. I built him a guitar, and he
Wow.
did our
You
design
built
and
the guitar.
website and stuff. Yeah.
Wow, guys, I can't believe you even talked to me. You built the guitar. I'm so honored. Thank you. I mean, really, I could go on about this. Next time I come on, you come on the show, I bet you I'll be playing the guitar.
Hope so.
Yeah, that's the plan. You got customers. Yes. But anyway, we'll let them in a minute. They're going to have to just wait. That's your customer?
It's not the one we're waiting for, but it's
Oh,
okay.
okay. Here, wait a minute. It's okay. It's all right. It's okay. But I think this is like so fantastic. This store, and I imagine you'll be open for open studios. Are you going to feature any artists during open studios? It'd be a good idea.
Yeah, I think we're working out something with Maureen again as
Okay.
well.
Yeah. She plays guitar.
She doesn't. I just gotten to know her.
Yeah,
From being,
she comes
from
in and
being
out.
around.
Yeah, she's kind of like a rocker kind of chick.
yeah.
She's kind of like that. Yeah, she likes you guys. We all do. You guys are cute. We like it. But anyway, this is really good, and you're gonna have to come on again, you know. And I will find myself a teacher, you know, and maybe
Yeah.
we'll have like an interview with a fourth person there.
Fred Gillen.
Fred Gillen.
Let's mash the world.
Let's make it happen. Yes, with Fred. Fred's the man. Yeah, he's beloved Peekskill. We love him. You know, humble as humble pie and just as talented as it gets. You know, it's amazing. You guys are great. You're humble. And I always see you guys standing outside having smoke, and it's just the best. You stand, it's like, hi, how you doing again?
Happy to be fixtures.
Yes, well, we like
for
that.
sure.
You add wonderful flavor to Division Street.
Thanks.
I'm really glad that you're here in my neighborhood. I
Yeah,
appreciate
that's
that
good.
so
We're
much.
happy to be here.
Yeah, and yeah, I might do a salon in here one day. But thanks again for coming to the show. That's my audience, and I really appreciate it, and they appreciate you. I'm sure they're going to want to learn more from you guys because you're like this, like automatic, you know, educators by default. You know, when you come in here, you're going to get an education for sure. And I'm going to thank the audience for coming back. I always thank my director, James Brooks. And I'd like to thank my sound person here. I think he was in heaven here because he's doing sound and this is a musical place. You know, that would be Joe Pisano. Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
Yes.
Thanks,
Joe.
James.
Yes, and cutting down on the hum, turned up the air conditioning so you'd be able to hear all of us better. And come back to the show again. We really appreciate this. And we'll see you on YouTube, and you'll see these wonderful gentlemen from Division Street Guitars. And thanks for coming to the show. See you next time. Bye.